Hello and welcome to Dream Team Coach TV, brought to you by Betway. I'm Sean Burke. Joining me is Andy Taylor, Jack Townsend and Nick Elliott. Coming up on this week's show. Yes, this is reductive. Welcome to Dream Team.
Always thinking about it. You can't be on the fence, mate. You can't be on the fence. Any good?
One of the best I've seen.
That means you swag it right.
Be a great little backup for Patrick Bamford next week.
It's like teacher telling us, like, did you do your homework last night?
Well, we asked you ahead of recording to watch the football. This season has been unlike any other for several reasons. The empty stadiums, the congested schedule, and for the fact that seemingly every club has at one point been the worst team in the league. Chelsea just lost to West Brom. I thought they were the informed team. I don't know what's real anymore. Next you'll be saying Jesse Lingard is the best player in the league. So to try to make sense of this, we're going to boil down each team's seasons to either good or bad. Yes, this is reductive. Welcome to Dream Team. Shall we start from the top and then we'll discuss it a little bit? Man City. Okay. Man United.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Always thinking about it. You can't be on the fence,
Andy,
mate. You can't be
good
on
or
the
bad.
Okay, positionally, yeah, because everyone else has been crap, yeah.
West Ham. Chelsea.
No.
Yeah. Tottenham.
I'm going to say they've had a good season.
Liverpool. Everton. Aston Villa. Arsenal. It's resounding. Leeds. Crystal Palace. Southampton. Wolves. It should all be bad really at this stage now. Burnley. Brighton. Newcastle. Fulham. West Brom.
I'd say Fulham and West Brom had it all right.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know about West Brom. I mean,
They're
they've got
second from the bottom.
20 points.
Yeah, but they've beaten some big teams.
And then Sheffield United, which is a hard thumbs down. What constitutes a bad season for some of these teams?
Well, I thought what was quite interesting there was that you all said Chelsea had bad and I said they had good, and you all said Spurs had good and had bad, which is obviously quite interesting because they're right next to each other in the table. They've both played 30 games and there's 2 points between them.
Yeah.
So I guess I think it comes down to a bit to like feel, doesn't it? To the away from the kind of cold, hard table, which I know probably should be the only indicator, but I don't know. It just feels like Spurs have had lower lows maybe. I'm taking into account a bit of Europa League action there as well, I suppose.
But you're talking about Spurs and Chelsea as if they're on the same level, and they couldn't be further away in terms of stature of the club, though. I mean, Spurs have never won anything, really. And Chelsea have won, three titles in the last, 15 years? They've won at least three titles. So they're not even comparable. At the end of the day, Abramovich is sitting in his office, wherever that may be, and he's fuming looking at that table. Whereas I know Daniel Levy will also not be happy sitting in sixth place, but ultimately you can't argue. You could comfortably say squad-wise, there's 4 better teams in the league than Spurs. Whereas Chelsea, in terms of what they've spent, and actually when you look at the names they've signed this year, and they've tried to sign some of the best players in the world in every position. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be top 4. Spurs what are they? They're 3 points off top 4. That's a good season for them.
I think a lot of it comes down to expectations, really. The perceived expectations of these clubs. Like Aston Villa, like we all did thumbs up, I'm pretty sure. But they're like mid-table. But considering, when we look at our predictions league, most of us expected them to be relegated.
But Nick, so say for instance in our predictions at the beginning of the year, you predicted Spurs to finish 8th and they're 6th, and you're saying they're having a bad season.
I know what you're saying about, historically and stuff like that, but Spurs replaced Pochettino and they hired one of the most famous managers in the world, one of the best managers of the modern era. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They've got one of the best centre forwards in the world, one of the best players in the world. Their expectations, they want to be getting top 4. I think anything below top 4 for them is seen as, not a total failure, but disappointing. When you replace Pochettino with Mourinho, the whole thing is right. He's a born winner. If you kind of sacrifice the the other things that come with Mourinho, like morale and entertainment. If you don't actually, if the sacrifice doesn't pay off and you don't win anything, then that surely has to be deemed as a failure. I mean, they're still in the obviously got the Carabao Cup final, but I think even though their most optimistic fans aren't too hopeful.
Hold fire on the chat for a few minutes as it's time for the 4 to Score challenge. This week, our sponsor Betway has set us a golf-themed challenge in honour of the Masters. Now, there are plenty of footballers out there who also play golf, and even some golfers who play football, aka Gareth Bale. So we're going to play a guessing game with the golf handicaps of some well-known footballers. Your score will be calculated by how close your guesses are to the right answers. Whoever is the fewest points away overall at the end, or rather, whoever has the fewest points overall at the end wins.
There's pressure on me to win this because I've actually filmed at some celebrity pro-am golf events. Yeah. I've watched Peter Schmeichel play golf. I have watched Paul Scholes play golf. So
who was better?
Yeah. What were their handicaps?
Mm-hmm. I won't be saying that. I won't be divulging that information.
So Andy, also, I need to ask you a golf question here. Say when someone's handicap is like 9,
yeah,
does that actually mean -9?
No, because you get essentially 9 shots extra over the course.
Basically, the lower your handicap, the better you are.
Yeah.
But that also goes past 0, right? So if you're a scratch golfer, obviously you're very, very good. But if you're even better than that, you're a +1, +2, etc.
Yeah. All right. First up, Jimmy Bullard.
Is he as good at golf as he is fishing?
What's his fishing handicap?
How
many extra fish does he get?
He starts with 2 in his net. Jimmy Bullard, obviously, he did actually play professional golf for a little while.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah. I don't think he won any money, but he played professional golf. And he's +1, apparently. Very good. Very good. Andy, you were closest there. Next up, Ryan Giggs.
I don't reckon he's got much in him.
Jack, did you send yours?
Yep. Same as last time.
Now, these are just the most up-to-date handicaps, golf handicaps I could find on the internet from various sources. So they do change as well regularly, right? So don't come after me, Ryan Giggs, if you feel like I'm not doing you justice. All right, Ryan Giggs is 13.
13?
Yeah. So, Nick, you were the closest there.
Yes.
All right. Next up, Nemanja Vidic.
Oh, what? Behave. Do they even have golf courses in Serbia? Your dogs are kicking off.
Yeah. Yeah, she's fuming about Vidic's handicap.
All right. Nemanja Vidic plays off 5.
That's nuts.
You judge the book by its cover there, lads.
That's insane.
All right, next up, Gareth Bale.
Imagine if he's awful with all this hype.
If he's only good on those 3 holes in his garden.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale plays off a 5.
Oh, it's paid off.
Are you telling me Nemanja Vidic and Gareth Bale are equally good at golf? That's insane.
Harry Kane.
He's not had enough time on the course yet, I don't think.
Allegedly, 4.
Oh, behave.
Surely we should start giving Kane more stick than Bale, then, really. He's obviously spending more time out there.
All right, next up, Wayne Rooney.
Rooney.
Wayne Rooney is 16. Yeah. Hang on. Friend of the show, Ian Wright.
I have genuinely seen him play as well.
Any good?
One of the best I've seen.
That means he swag it right.
Ian Wright plays off a 7. Some unsure glances there.
Oh, so close.
You were close. Right, Alan Shearer.
I feel like you've had this conversation with him, Andy.
I have had this conversation with him, yeah.
Well, the answer is 6.
Oh, no.
Nice work, Nick. Got to bang on. And last but not least, if we're doing a front 9, Carlos Tevez.
Yeah, he once said that FL Clasico was on one channel and golf was on the other. He'd watch the golf.
So now my thinking here is that you said there were 2 people off plus.
Yeah. I've had the same thought.
Yeah, but I've cut one person from the list now because I actually had 10 names, but we're doing 9. So
Yeah, but
it's-
What are the chances of you?
I don't believe
What are
you.
the chances of you cutting the other plus one? No chance. Look at that, a little just rearrange of the hair. Oh yeah.
Andy. Carlos Tevez is 13.
Oh,
No!
what? That's cost it for me. I'm miles off there now.
Oh, I put +2.
The results are in. And by the way, the other plus golfer was Dwight York, who plays off +3, apparently. In third place with 61, Jack Townsend.
Ooh.
In second place with 46 is Nick Elliott, which means he still managed to do it. 35 points. Andy Taylor.
35 points.
Where's my green jacket, eh?
Congratulations to Andy. A green blazer is being couriered to your address as we speak. Now it's back to the football chat. This seems like a good time to look at our season predictions that we made at the start of the year for the way the league table would look. But Nick, you have Man City to win the league, so you're on course there. Liverpool second, Arsenal third, which I appreciate your optimism, but it unfortunately didn't work out.
That's my true howler. My howlers are Arsenal to finish third and Aston Villa to get relegated.
Let's see, anything else that jumps out here?
I've got West Ham 17th.
We've all got West Ham in the bottom half.
Well, that suggests to me that David Moyes is manager of the year. Not even a question for me. I think what he's doing there, and they're even now just grinding out results when they don't even play that well. With all respect, Wolves weren't great on Monday night, and I don't think West Ham were at their best either. But they just ground it out. Away at Wolves, bias aside from me, that's a good result. That's a good 3 points. And they didn't play that well, and they got the 3 points. And they didn't even have their main boy Rice either. Manager of season. I mean, what he's doing with that. So he's got. Like Kufau looks like Cafu at right back. I mean, some of the balls I'm seeing him putting in, I've never even heard of him. He's just a random Czech lad.
That's kind of the point, isn't it? When you look back at predictions, because the instinct is to go, look how wrong you were. You know what I mean? And obviously we will be doing that, but it's also at the same time, if you did a survey of every Premier League fan, including West Ham fans, in fact, saying where do you think West Ham will finish, you have an overwhelming majority in the bottom half, which is what everything indicated at the start of the season. So yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I think it's kind of hard to look at Guardiola. The manager of the year. I know it's very boring, and you can
really
say,
really,
he's going to get it. He'll get
it. I know. Obviously, you can say, well, look at the players he's got and stuff like that. He has shown his class this season.
Do you reckon Pep has the minerals to get West Ham top 4?
We'll never know.
I know it's one of those arguments where anyone who knows what they're salt in the game, they'll just go, well, Pep's the best manager. He's proven it time after time. But it's a different type of management, I think. And I'd just be interested to see whether he could do what Moyes is doing.
Do you think if they swapped, do you think if Moyes swapped with Pep, do you think Moyes could do what Pep's doing with City and Pep could do with what he's doing with West Ham? Because like you said, as much as it's different one way, it's probably the same the other way.
But I just think, for instance, Craig Dawson, could I see Pep getting the performances out of Craig Dawson? By all accounts, Pep is a great man manager when he's got some of the best players in the world, and that's what his skill set is. Whereas ultimately, I think Craig Dawson was about third choice for Moyes, and now he's borderline team of the season at the moment. The way that he's playing should be on the coach, if anything, for the Euros.
Well, I think Jack, I think both teams would actually be doing slightly worse. To be honest, I think if Moyes is City manager, I don't think they'd be so far clear of every other team as they are. I mean, they might still be top. It's hard to say. But yeah, I think West Ham probably would be doing slightly worse as well, because I think Guardiola, at this stage now anyway, at least, he's got obviously this whole approach that is so ingrained in him about dominating games and imposing yourself on the opposition. Whereas obviously West Ham, part of the reason West Ham have been good is that Moyes has actually been quite pragmatic, and it's like, okay, sometimes we're not gonna stretch beyond our means, whereas Guardiola's whole thing is about stretching beyond your means and trying to get as much out of it as possible, where sometimes that's not realistic.
Is there any other manager, Nick, in the Premier League that you think could take over at City at the beginning of the season and get him to the title?
Marcelo Bielsa.
Look at that cheeky
Do you genuinely believe that? Do you genuinely believe Bielsa could do it?
Yeah, I think they would win it. I think.
So then
I think Klopp.
there's your argument.
If Klopp was City manager, I think City would win. I think Rodgers was City manager, City would win it.
So there's your argument then. I don't think that any of them could go into West Ham and do what Moyes is doing.
I don't know. I could see.
Bielsa basically has the same set of players at Leeds, and he's not top four with Leeds.
I could see. Oh, please. I could see Brendan Rodgers doing a similar thing with West Ham, but not taking anything away from what Moyes has done is amazing, definitely.
Okay, it's time for the memes. Each week, our panelists submit a meme to the Dream Team Instagram page, and you folks get to vote for your favorite. So if you're not already following us on Instagram, head on over to our page and get involved. Okay, who's first?
Well, I just think Kane doesn't put any value on trophies if he doesn't leave.
It looks like he is leaving though in this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what he needs to do. Yeah, I'm hoping he does.
Is that Graz up on the balcony?
Yeah, Graz trying to...
Producer Graz trying to grab him.
Next up, I believe it's Jax.
I mean, his tackles weren't that bad, but he was fired up, wasn't he?
All right, and then last up is Nick's meme about Timo Werner.
Well, I just had Team for Germany against North Macedonia playing over and over in my mind. I can get it out of my head, and then when Chelsea lost to West Brom, I thought I'm gonna find something with Werner, and then that's pretty much the first thing I saw. I saw the word German, so I just thought, well, there you go.
In third place with 160 points is Jack Townsend.
Route 1 Townsend, where he belongs.
Well, in second place with 326 points is Nick. So that means in first place with 418 points is Andy.
Back with a bang.
Gone big club.
Have I? I've gone for a team that's not even in the top 5.
Well, as of recording, there was some Champions League football last night. Did you watch the matches, lads?
We did, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad somebody did.
It's like a teacher telling us, like, did you do your homework last night?
No, we asked you ahead of recording to watch the football. I was really surprised to see Erling Haaland get an assist, really.
It's a shame that we always have to talk about him leaving his club, but that is essentially the biggest talking point, isn't it? Every time we see him, we're like, okay, I know Dortmund's good, but where are you going to end up, though? I feel like City's just made to measure, though, isn't it? Given his history. Do you see that little embrace with Foden at the end as well? Do you reckon Foden was like, look, me and you, we'd rip this up for the next decade if you came here? When do we begin the Haaland v Mbappe debate? Or is it even a debate?
I think it's starting already. I think.
Let's just, right here, right now, where are we?
Mbappe for me.
I'm Haaland all day.
Yeah, I think it's Haaland for me.
I think I'm Haaland at the moment. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is mad because obviously Mbappe's already got a World Cup in his locker.
I just think he's going to have the longevity. I reckon Haaland's just going to be one of those freaks that just keeps on going.
I think he's actually quite similar to Kane in a little way. Just like bullies the ball. Like the ball just gets bullied by his foot. He just hammers it. There's nothing there's no real like caress about it. He just like brutes it into the back of the net. Did you see that bit where he bundled over Diaz? Arguably the best centre half in the Premier League, and he's just absolutely mugged him off. And it's that reason as well why you can definitely see him doing it in the Premier League as well.
And also, he's born in Leeds as well.
Maybe he's going to Leeds. Maybe he's going to go to Leeds. Bielsa's working his magic.
That's what he was telling Foden at the end. He's going to Leeds. Be a great little backup for Patrick Bamford next year.
Spurs face Man United this weekend after a disappointing draw with Newcastle last weekend. Afterwards, Jose Mourinho threw his team under the bus he normally parks so carefully, saying, same manager, different players, after a question about his record holding on to winning leads put him on the defensive. His team could learn a thing or two. How big is the match against United this weekend?
I mean, I'll kick off. I think we were speaking before. This is Spurs' season right here. If they don't win that, they could potentially drop down to 8th in the league. Now, I know points-wise, still actually not that far off the top 4. You've got Liverpool, who are definitely on the up, particularly with Jota back. You've got Everton that will be above them. You've got You've got Chelsea that will be above them. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I think it's a tough ask now to get top 4.
With Mourinho, obviously, he blamed the players again. I'm just going to read out a quote from Mourinho from when he was first appointed Spurs manager. Okay, the best gift are the players who are here. I told the players I came here because of them. I tried to buy some for different clubs. So that's what he thought of the players when he first took over. And now, 18 months later, under his, that have been under his watch all this time, he's now decided, actually, this lot are not good enough. I don't think he realises that rests on him. You know what I mean? He loved these players 90 months ago, and then 18 months under him, suddenly they're no good. A huge part of coaching is getting the best out of the players at your disposal.
Everything's pointing to them losing, because, I mean, United haven't lost in the last 10 games they've played, so they're on a fantastic run.
Mourinho, when he's doing stuff like this, he always seems to go through the motions when he's on the verge of eventually leaving a club. I feel like the last 6 months of his tenure is always like, oh, he's doing this stuff like this more and more, complaining about the players, complaining to the press. Like, there should be a list, like a sign of like 5 of the stages of a Mourinho departure from a club.
Well, you know what the final one is, don't you? Buzz cut. when he gets it all off, that's when you know. We're talking a matter of weeks when that happens. So
yeah. I'm trying to think where they go from here. Mm-hmm. And is it just going to be another summer of Spurs fans worrying about, is Kane going to go? Because if Kane goes, I mean, what Spurs, they are genuinely, I'm not even making a joke about this, they are genuinely a mid-table outfit if Kane goes. Arguably the best striker in the world, probably second to Lewandowski, but could argue that he's better. And they can only get 6th with the best striker in the world. So how bad are Spurs without Kane is basically the question. They're not good, are they?
Well, that's all from us, folks. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Dream Team Coach TV, brought to you by Betway. We will talk to you again next week. Best of luck with your dream team. Take care.